Hello YouTube, it's me TFR Wilderness and welcome to this month's bot haul. That's the bot haul for August 2020 and yeah, I've got a table full of bots beside me that I'm going to show you in hopefully in quick succession. I mean, I've got 18 items to get through this month. I'm hoping that I'm going to try and do this video in under an hour, but you know how I like to talk and rabbit, so yeah. Right, before we get started, just something I want to mention. Last month I showed you, my shelf, took one of my Optimus shelves out and filled it up with Nemesis. Well, this month I decided to do it again, basically clear out one of the cells for my detail and fill it up with bot molds from a certain character. And the character I've chosen is Thundercracker, because he's my seeker of choice. And I'm thinking, how many Thundercrackers have I got in my collection? And I've picked up quite a few recently, and I decided to clear out one of the details. It's the cell down here. You can't really see it because it's behind the chair, but I've taken these pictures to show you what I did. Yeah, so you just got them 3 pictures that show what was in the detolf, and then I cleared those bots out and then filled it up with Thundercrackers. So I could do with getting a few more small ones to go in the front, so next month I'm hoping, may or may not be looking to get some more Thundercrackers next month. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see about that. Anyway, so let's talk about this month's haul, shall we? Right, so very good month. Remember the last couple of months, obviously I've been whinging and moaning about international shipping and the fact that due to the COVID crisis it's caused unnecessary shipping delays, and parcels were getting delayed unnecessarily, and I wasn't getting my stuff in on time, and I was getting a bit annoyed about it. Well, this month it was almost like things had returned to normal. It was great. I mean, I had an overdue parcel from last month that came in, which was great. And everything else that I ordered this month, well, apart from some pre-orders that I did towards the end of the month, all came in on time, and usually around about sort of 2 weeks. So I was quite impressed, and it's probably a fluke or a flash in the pan. I mean, we know that the world is now descending into like the second wave of COVID contagion, but I'm still gonna keep chipping away, ordering international parcels in the hope that they get through. But fingers crossed. Hopefully it wasn't a complete fluke last month with this month with all these bots that came in reasonable time. So that was good. So with that said, let's have a look at what we got. So first thing to arrive on was an overdue parcel from last month, something I pre-ordered because I'd sort of been, well, I'll show you what it is and then I'll explain it. Right, so Fans Hobby Athena. Now, last month I was looking to get this thing. Well, for the last couple of months, this thing's been on pre-order on Kapow and Omega Lock and a few other sites. Ran about for about sort of 65-70 quid, which is a really good price for what is a third-party masterpiece figure. It's by Fans Hobby, who, they're so far their products have been pretty good, and I was thinking of getting it because I wanted it for the alt mode. Porsche 959. That's a supercar from the late 80s that Porsche did, and it had a bit of success at rallying, especially on the old Paris-Dakar. It did the Paris-Dakar in the old Rothmans, cigarette livery. Remember that? Remember when sports cars used to have like cigarette advertising on them? Well, yeah, this car had some of that. Anyway, so I was umming and ahhing about getting this. But I slept on it, as I usually do. I thought, well, I'll wait till it gets closer to release and then I'll make a play on it. Of course, it was there. It was readily available, and then the first reviews start appearing on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, boom, the pre-orders just vanish like that. And the next thing you see
you look on eBay and then this figure's popping up at scalper prices for like 110, 120 quid in the hands of the the usual scalpers. So I was thinking, oh, I've missed the boat on that one. So I hunted around, and eventually found a seller in Hong Kong by the name of what's his name? Blimey, I've forgotten now. Oh no, never mind. A seller in Hong Kong, and he was doing it for round about the normal pre-order price, and cheap shipping. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that, and I ordered it back in the last month, and it arrived within 2 weeks, and I was really impressed, and it was the first thing to arrive this month. So yeah, I've got her, and here she is in her car mode. Now, compared to that other fans, well, I've only got one other fans hobby figure. That's the Megatooth that I got a couple of months back, and I was really impressed with that. It was big, it was heavy, got die cast on it. It was a really heavy, chunky bot. Really impressed with it. This one, not so much. Yes, it's it scales well with the other masterpiece Carbots, like Prowl and Sideswipe and all that lot. But build quality wise, it doesn't have the same feel as a masterpiece figure. It feels a bit, I don't know. There's no die cast on it, and I know certain masterpiece purists who've been doing reviews of this have been ragging on it, saying, oh, it's got no die cast and it hasn't got enough paint apps and stuff like that. And some of those criticisms are warranted. I mean, to me, this figure is a mixed bag. I mean, the alt mode looks amazing. Transformation is fiddly, especially these rear wings which become the shoulders. And word of caution, these little panels on the back, they sort of fold into the rear fenders, so to speak, for transformation to become the shoulder joints. They have got this really thin, tight hinge, and if you're not careful, you can break them off, because I broke one of mine off during one of the transformations. I've managed to glue it back together, and I had to do stress relief on the hinge by sort of putting little slits in it so that it allow it to turn. But there's some really very scary thin hinges on this thing and tight joints, so it's a bit it's a bit of a challenge and a bit scary to transform. But the alt mode's nice. I like the alt mode. Robot mode's okay. It doesn't really mean anything to me because I wasn't a fan of Master Force. So Minerva, the character it's based upon, don't really work for me. Like I said, I bought it for the car mode, and you can always have more fembots in your collection. So I was quite happy with it. A little bit disappointed that I had a breakage on it, but I fixed it, and yeah, it's like I said, it swings and roundabouts with this. I'm not overly such a massive fan of it, but it's still a decent thing, and I'm glad I bought it, especially for the price that I got it for, because I got it for the pretty much the pre-order price and not the scalper premium. So I got one over the scalpers for that one. So that was the first thing that arrived this month. Then there's obviously we're getting to that period where we're getting Earthrise Wave 2 figures are starting to appear. And there's a few figures that are coming out before the main wave, most notably, Snapdragon and Leader Class Double Dealer. And I was thinking, I quite like Double Dealer, and I've got the G1 Double Dealer, and I've got the Thrilling 30s Generation Double Dealer, and I don't really character mold set collect Double Dealer, but I like the look of him, so I decided to get him. Now, I went on eBay, and I bought one from these guys, Comics and Cocktails, off eBay, and got it for pretty decent price. And I got me Earthrise Leader Double Dealer. He's really good, very G1 accurate. In fact, he looks very close to the G1 original. Quite a decent transformation. Obviously, he's a triple changer. He's got the bird mode and he's got the tank mode, and they threw in that sort of launcher mode, which is basically the missile carrier mode. With you put these legs down at the back and then angle the rocket up. No, it's really great. I had a bit of a moment with this when I was transforming it the first time, because you've got these knees joints which rotate round. Now, there is a very small mushroom peg in the knee joint, and it has a little nubbin that sticks up that restricts the rotation
of the knee to 90 degrees. Now, if you're like me, you get a bit cack-handed when you transform it and you overturn or overexert the rotation on the knee, they pop off. And when they pop off, they're a bugger to get back on because that little nubbin, it stops you from plugging it back in. So I had to, well, one of the knees popped off on mine. It wouldn't pop back in, so I had to take the knee apart in order to put it back together and make it work again. And it was a right mission because, you have to like sort of knock the pin out the knee joint, and then you have to semi-dismantle the leg, and it's part glued, part screwed together, and it's really difficult. So yeah, I had a bit of a moment with this guy in that regard, but it was my own fault for just being because I was doing that thing where I transform them without the instructions. I just sort of wing it, and I think I was transforming it back to robot mode, and I just turned it a little bit too much, and it just popped off. So just be wary of that. If you've got one of these and you're transforming it, just be careful when you're twisting the knees, for transformation, because them ball joints, it's a very small mushroom peg. It's tiny, and it's a bit of a weakness on the mould, I would say. But he's got that hollow leg-itis that modern transformers have got. But apart from that, he's a pretty solid bot, and the bird mode is pretty cool. I've got to admit, I love the colours on this thing. I mean, that light blue just pops. But yeah, he's still a pretty good figure, and I don't regret buying him. And I had a bit of a wobble with him, but apart from that, I'm really impressed with him. He's a decent figure, and yeah, okay, he's a leader class. He doesn't quite, scale with your average leader class. He's not much bigger than a Voyager, to be honest, but he comes with lots of accessories, and he's a pretty cool bot. So yeah, definitely worth a punt if you like this guy. Then right, international package came in. One I ordered last month off eBay from an eBay seller in Korea, KTRTs. You probably noticed over the last couple of weeks I've been doing KTRT reviews of these Hello Carbot minifigures. Now they've released a new bunch of them, 7 figures in total, and they're basically characters from seasons 2 and 3. And when I saw them, I thought, yeah, got to get those. I saw some of the Korean reviewers doing them, like Kura and KR Brickbot were doing reviews on them, and it just whetted my appetite. And I haven't bought any KTRTs since January. They're like, well, actually, no, I have bought a couple more recently. I ordered them ones off, was it 11th Street, didn't I, a couple of months ago. But, since Brexit in February and the COVID crisis, I haven't really been buying KTRTs regularly, and I need to get back into that, and I think I'm going to start getting into the swing of things again now. Anyway, so I ordered 2 lots off the same eBay seller. I put them in my basket, and I ordered the full set of 7. So we got Hello Carbot's Mini Gold Rex, Hello Carbot's Mini Ghost Chaser True, Hello Carbot's Mini Ugaba, Hello Carbot's Mini Saber, Hello Carbot's Mini Knight, Hello Carbot's Mini Rook, and Hello Carbot's Mini Pone. So yeah, ordered this little lot. I've done reviews on some of them already. I've reviewed, Golrex, True, and Ugaba. And the other day I did the reviews for the other guys. Yeah, it's difficult to hold them all up. Yeah, I did the reviews for these other guys. I've already uploaded them, and they're going to be on scheduled uploads on Saturday mornings at 9:30 BST over the next 4 weeks in September. Now, I'm actually going to put this in right here. I've actually said it on one of the reviews, but I'm going to say it here. Obviously, I've noticed this month that I passed 500 subscribers, and probably some of you are wondering, where's my 500 subs review video? Well, to be honest, I just didn't feel in the need to do it right away.
And obviously time's getting on a bit. You know, I'm up to about, what was it, 111? No, I'm up to like 511, well, 512 subs at the moment. So what I've decided to do instead is, as I'm getting close to review 200, I'm going to withhold my 500 subs review until I get to 200. Well, review 200. So I wanted to get through these Hello Carbot minifigures because they go up to about, what was it, 196, and then all I've got to do is do a couple more reviews, and then I'm up review 200. And I'm uploading these videos once a week, so I'm trying to get through them as quickly as possible. I mean, I could do it a lot quicker, but now one a week is quite ample. And we're going to get to probably get to the 200 review and my 500 subs video back end of October, all going well with the schedule that I've got. So if you're wondering where it is, please wait. I'm going to do it eventually. Just don't feel in the need to do it right now. There's reasons for that which may become apparent in the future. I'll do a special video on it and give you the reasons why. Yeah, so got these guys. Obviously, the best ones of the bunch are these two because they transform into a dragon and a wolf. They got extra joints on these guys, and they really are like mini versions of the big figures. They're absolutely fantastic. The other figures are a bit basic. Ugabar's okay. As with all these figures, they're missing the paint apps. They haven't got as many paint apps as the big figures. The basic robots they're about the size of a Legends class figure from Transformers, but they've got the engineering of a Legion class. So they've got no working elbows. They've just got ball jointed hips. They've got hinged knees, and then they've got ball jointed shoulders, and that's your lot. So they're pretty decent little figures. The alt modes and the robot modes are pretty cool. It's great that they finally got around to doing these. I'm hoping they're going to do some more. The reviews I've got to come is obviously Saber. Same thing with the big one. I think they sort of ruined the colour palette on this guy by giving him like the muted red and blue. It should be a lighter shade of blue and like a hot pink for the red. So that sort of annoyed me a little bit. And then we've got the Sam Chang Zar, the Three Musketeers, Knight, Rook, and Pawn. These guys came out in seasons 2. They're like the Hello Carbot brothers. There's 3 of them together. They're pretty cool figures to watch, characters to watch in the show. I'd really like to get hold of the big Knight, but the thing is with these figures, they're like leader class sized. One-step changes. They had the one-step changer gimmick. They had no articulation on the legs. So this thing's more articulated than the big one. I mean, the big one had decent articulation on the top. I mean, Knight was the most articulated out of the original big ones because he had extra joints on top for because he didn't have an automorph transformation. He had to like pull open the top of the car mode and it transformed. But he's really cool. And then you've got Pone. I've actually got the big one of this, and I did a size comparison with it. All these other like mini Carbots. If I have the big one in my collection, I do the size comparison in the reviews. This guy's a bit basic. His transformation's different to the others. He transforms kind of similar to the other Hello Carbot micro figures I did a few years ago. But he's okay. And then there's this guy. This character, Rook, I am not a fan of him. I really dislike him a lot. His aesthetic in the cartoon and his original toy, hideously ugly in both car mode and robot mode. The minifigure's not too bad. It's palatable. And it's got working legs. The proportions are a little better on this version than the toy version. The toy version's got like these really sort of stupidly long thighs. And he's got this stupid chest plate with all these painted up, sort of hexagonal pectoral fins, and he looks ridiculous. He's got really chunky arms as well. I mean, he looks awful in his robot mode, and his car mode is ugly as well. And I just can't stand the full figure. The mini one is okay, but I'm not a fan of this guy. But I only bought it because I wanted the set. I wanted the 3 brothers, so I had to get this guy. So he was like. I was going to get him anyway in the mini size, but, you know, oh well, it is what it is. So I've got hold of the Sam Chang Tsar, or the Three Musketeers, or the Carbot brothers. So I got hold of them. And these figures are actually pretty cheap. You know, there are sellers that are doing them in packs on eBay for a reasonable price. I mean, in Korea, these things only go for about £4 or £5. Obviously, they're a bit more expensive on eBay because of, you know, scalper prices, and you have to get it shipped from the other side of the world. But they arrived. Well, it took a full calendar month actually, because I ordered these the beginning of July last month, and yeah, so they took a full calendar month. But it was, out of all the packages I got this month, this was probably the most delayed. It took like, was it 40 odd days or 30 odd days? Well, over 30 days. It's like 35 days I think they took to deliver. Anyway, so got those guys, and yeah, they were pretty cool, and they arrived on July the 6th. So right, next, moving forward to July the 10th, and had a couple of things arrive. Now, there's a certain, now it's kind of a little rant. I'm getting fed up at the moment of, you know, Hasbro and Takara doing all these reveals, and they're mostly box sets with, you know, they throw characters together in an exclusive box set, and then they make it a retail exclusive. And if you don't live in America, then it's no good to you, because, you know, you struggle to buy them because they're only available in, you know, in American retailers like Hasbro Pulse or Walmart or Target or Walgreens or, you know, Amazon US. And it's a struggle for collectors like me who live in other parts of the world to get hold of these figures. And one of the sets they did was that Cybertronian villain Seeker 2-pack with Thundercracker and Skywarp. And they're also breeding they're breeding the scalper market, because, you know, the scalpers are hoovering these things up and throwing them on eBay for like their usual scalper premiums. So, you know, you can't get them, or you struggle to get them at the retail price. And the pre-orders, I mean, you have to jump on the pre-orders as soon as they go up. I mean, I like to sort of wait on the pre-order until close to the time before I pull the trigger on it. But in this sort of market and climate, you know, you've just got to pounce on them as soon as they go up, else, you know, you're going to lose out because the scalpers are waiting to nab them, you know. And anyway, so I wanted to get hold of this Seeker 2-pack because, as I said earlier, you know, Thundercracker's my Seeker of choice, and I wanted to get hold of Thundercracker, but he comes bundled with Skywarp, so I've got to get the 2-pack. And, you know, when I was ready to buy them, it was sold out everywhere at the normal price, and then you see them appearing on eBay at, you know, scalper premiums, and I didn't want to pay that. I didn't want to pay the piper. So I set up eBay notifications with Kapow and In Demand. If they get them in stock, please email me, and then I can pounce on them. And Kapow came through for me, and on the 10th, I got my Seeker 2-pack. So, Thundercracker and Skywarp. Now, like I said, had I had the choice, I would have bought this guy on his own as a singular character. I'm a bit annoyed that they did him as a 2-pack, but they're doing it with the cone heads as well, you know. And then they're doing those other, they're doing that Sandstorm as a Generation Selects. I mean, that's an exclusive repaint, so you can understand that. But doing the regular sort of vanilla characters in these multi-packs and then having them as retail exclusives is like, really? I'm just getting a bit tired of it, to be honest. But anyway, there we go. Now, obviously, this mould, right? As many people have said, it's basically an upscaled version of the old Classics mould. So I've got my Classics Thundercracker out. I've got him out the D-shelf because he was close to hand. And then if you scale it up, you know, they look virtually the same. And yeah, it is. You know, this new Earthrise Seeker mould is basically an upscaled and re-engineered Classics mould, because it transforms virtually the same. Yes, they've re-engineered the transformation on the legs, making it more combiner warsy than, you know, because the original figure just had sliders, whereas this one's got that thing where you open the panel and then you have like that the double hinge joint that you fold up and then plug it back in. And then the engineering on the arms. Now the arms are pretty sweet because they sort of open out and fold in on each other, and we've seen that engineering before on the Titan's Return Top Spin and Twin Twist, because they had a similar sort of arm transformation on them figures, and I think they've used that or utilised that engineering on these arms, which is pretty cool. But it's still a good mould even today. You know, the Classics mould was great in its time, but it's a bit tired now. But it just proves with a fresh coat of paint and a bit, you know, a lot more, you know, sort of moulded details on it, and, you know, some more paint and some engineering tweaks. You know, you can and scale it up to a Voyager class. You know, you can get more life out of the old dog. You know, it's a thing. I mean, it's got the same sort of issues that the Classics mould had. Like in play mode, it's still got that ugly gap there. It's a shame they couldn't have had a thing whereby like a little filler panel just folded up and filled that up. But apart from that, I mean, the transformation on these things is pretty sweet. I mean, you know how it works because you've done the Classics mould, haven't you? So yeah, I mean, it works virtually the same with a few extra bells and whistles, but you know, they're pretty fantastic. So yeah, I managed to get these from Kapow at the normal price. Again, beat the scalpers again this month. I've been doing a lot of that. You've got to shop around, and if you get lucky, you know, you'll be able to get in there at the normal price. But this whole, let's do them as a 2-pack, or let's do them as a retail exclusive. You know, it's just a pain in the arse now to be a collector. You know, it really is. I mean, in my opinion, Hasbro and Takara, well, Hasbro especially, are ruining the market by doing this. It's all right for people in America, and America's the biggest market for Transformers, and you know, they'll make their money back. I mean, so long as they sell the toys, they don't care, do they? But they don't care about the rest of us collectors. But anyway, so I managed to get hold of the Earthrise Seeker 2-pack. They arrived on the 10th, and also on the 10th, another parcel. Now this was my second purchase from the guy I ordered Athena from. So as my Athena figure had arrived pretty quick, I thought, well, you know, I looked in his shop and he got a few more figures that I wanted, and I thought, oh yeah, I want that and I want that. So I made a plate, and these arrived, I can't remember, like I said, I haven't got my book open, so I can't see exactly how quickly they arrived. But anyway, they arrived on the 10th, so I ordered them this month, so I think I ordered them on the 1st. I'm not sure. It might even have been less than that. Anyway, they arrived in less than 10 days. So, another figure that is, you know, like, sort of, you know, a retail exclusive kind of, and something that, you know, the scalpers are targeting. Yes, the alternate universe Optimus Prime, the Earthrise Optimus Prime, done in monochrome colours, because it's dead Optimus Prime. It's Optimus Prime from, you know, Transformers the movie, 1986, where he got mortally wounded in his fight with Megatron, and then he was in the repair bay, and all the Autobots were around him, and he sadly passed away after handing the creation matrix to Ultra Magnus. Now they're calling this the alternate universe, you know, Optimus Prime. So they're not calling it the dead Optimus Prime, but I mean, it's got the battle damage on it. He's got the damage on the faceplate, so it's obviously that's what it's meant to be. But they didn't call it that, and I've been thinking, you know, because they called it the alternate universe, by saying that this is an alternate universe, are they saying that the Transformers G1 is an alternate reality, and that the current Transformers continuity, i.e., the War for Cybertron trilogy, is the, you know, Earthrise, Siege, and Kingdom when it comes, the true Transformers story. So they're trying to say that this is this is now an obsolete, continuum, just like when they wrote off the IDW because they wanted to harmonise all the different continuities with the new continuity going forward. The old IDW continuity, they told IDW, right, stop what you're doing. You got to start all over again, and everything's got to match, the new toy line that's coming out. So they had to wind all that up, and it became all irrelevant and obsolete. But by calling this alternate universe, they're saying that the events of the G1 cartoon and the 1986 it's not reality, it's something that happened in an alternate universe, in another dimension, not the current dimension which the new Transformer story is played out in. Does that make any sense to anyone? I know I'm probably going to get roasted in the comments for saying this, but I'm just saying that, all my comments on the new videos are set for review. So if you put a comment on my video and it doesn't appear right away, that's the reason why. I'm sorry I've had to do this, but it's just a way to, keep on top of the undesirables. It's just to stop them from getting a foothold. Right, so it's a decent figure. I mean, I wanted to get a version of the Earthrise Optimus. I mean, I got the Nemesis version of the the Siege mould. Wanted to get this version, but I didn't want it in Optimus colours. So when they saw this was coming out, I thought, yeah, hell yeah, I'll get a dead Optimus Prime in that mould. So he's in monochrome colours. You can do, because he's effectively dead. Let's just say that that scene on the show where they went to the Sea of Rust looking for the Allspark, and they get attacked by those the Sparkless, those zombies that come out of the sand and attack them. Let's just say that Optimus got murdered there and he became one of the Sparkless. This is what he'd be like. He'd be like one of the Wandering Dead. And you can actually put him in a really good zombie pose. In fact, on my thumbnail, when I did my silhouette picture of him, I actually had him in a stumbling zombie pose, and it looked really good. So yeah, managed to get hold of this. It's a really good mould. I like the transformation on it. It's pretty sweet, and getting it in alternate universe colours, made me want to get it. But now they've said that they're doing a Nemesis version of this. Aren't they? Or is it the Siege one they're doing in one of those Generation Selects blind boxes? Oh well, never mind. Got hold of him, and he arrived from that guy in Hong Kong. And I also bought off him Rung, Battlemaster Rung, Siege. Well, actually, this is the Earthrise version. Earthrise Battlemaster Rung. Yay! We finally got a Rung in plastic form from the official toy line. Now, this is a character that was invented in the old IDW continuity. He's another character that's crossed over into the new IDW continuity. So, there are certain characters that were created in the old IDW continuity, which is now, like I said, obsolete and redundant, thanks to Hasbro. But certain characters have been crossing over. I think the Tarn and DJD have crossed over to some extent. Freud. Even though he's a comic exclusive character, I mean, he appeared in the new Bold New Era, Transformers comic. I wanted to get hold of this guy, and he transforms into that thing. In the comic, this was referred to as an ornament, because there's that one comic they did whereby everybody was trying to figure out what Rung's alt mode was, and they had like an alt mode party in Swerves where everybody was transformed into vehicle mode, and they says, "Oh, it's a party, but you've got to come in alt mode." And it's like they were trying to figure out what his alt mode was, and it wasn't until the end of the comic where they were chasing some Decepticon spy or something, and they were trying to get him. So Swerve, needed something to whack him with. So Rung transformed into this thing, and Swerve just beat him over the head. And then at the end, Swerve gets out his Functionist card, and it says on it, "Function Ornament." But then in the later comics, he sort of transforms into a giant, sort of Cybertronian drill tank, and it's like, but that was forced upon him, and it turned out that. Well, this is spoilers. It turns out that Rung is actually Primus. He's actually, like the
he's actually Primus. So this is basically the planet in robot form. But yeah, I wanted to get him. We really need this guy scaled up to, deluxe scale, a really skinny deluxe. I'm kind of hoping that Mastermind Creations will get around to doing, more of the Lost Light character figures. I mean, they're doing an IDW Chrome Dome and Eject, and they're doing an IDW Optimus Prime or not Optimus Prime, is it? It's the Orion Pax, I think. So that looks pretty cool. But I'm kind of hoping once they finish with the DJD, they're going to do the rest of the Lost Light crew, and I'm hoping they're going to do the Scavengers, because that's what I really want. I've got some characters from my Scavengers lineup, but still haven't got a fulcrum. Need a fulcrum. But this guy, yeah, I'm glad we finally got a Rung in, like, even if it's like a little mini dude that transforms into a gun. But it's pretty cool. Yeah. I had to get it. Got it. It's pretty neat. Just wish it was bigger, to go on your Lost Light shelf. So, but anyway, got hold of him, and they arrived, like I said, from that guy in Hong Kong. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. My main brain's getting terrible. Anyway, so that was all that stuff arrived on the 10th. Like I said, I mean, stuff arrived pretty quick. I mean, most of that stuff I ordered it. Well, obviously the Earthrise Cybertronian villains, I ordered them on the 5th or the 6th. But the other stuff I ordered, everything arrived pretty quick this month. It was great. It's like times of old when stuff arrives in decent time. But like I said, it's probably just a flash in the pan or a fluke. Come next month, everything's going to go back to like unnecessary delays again. Anyway, so right, next, moving forward, right, 15th. Now, I like my Megatron gun formers, right? I have to have the Megatron gun former molds. I sort of collect them, and I think I've got all the Megatron gun former molds. But, a new one's come out, a new Legend Scale one by Magic Square, and I was looking to get it, and then where did I get this from? I know I got it off eBay. I think I got it, did I get it off Badabobo? It was either, I think it was Badabobo. Anyway, so yeah. I've got Magic Square Doomsday. Yes, now, a lot of people are picking this guy up. And for the most part, it's really good. And I would have got it anyway. And I will think, aesthetically, in robot mode, it looks amazing. Because, they've tried so hard to nail the G1 cartoon aesthetic, and they've succeeded. I mean, this thing is super clean. I mean, look on the back. I mean he's got like a little trigger butt, but apart from that, he's super clean. And they've done an amazing job. And yeah, it's great. Though because I'm not a fan of the G1 cartoon, I went down the route of the G1 comics. I prefer my Megatron to be the shiny silver. I prefer the shiny silver. That's why when I got the New Age one, I went for the Hinkle, the shiny one with the extra red paint apps on it, and that thing's amazing. Obviously, I'm sure Magic Square are going to do umpteen repaints of this. They're going to do a gold one, and they're going to do a shiny silver one, and they're probably going to do a transparent one. They're going to do all that. The one thing we've got to hope is that they scale this up to Masterpiece scale so it can go alongside that Optimus mold they upscaled as well. But I think the Optimus mold, they bought that out because the third party companies knew that MP44 was coming out, so they think, let's get a Masterpiece. Let's have some of that action that collectors are going to be after. The collectors are going to be after the latest Masterpiece, Optimus mold. Let's get some of that action by bringing them out our own Masterpiece Optimus at under that price point. But there's no need to do any more Masterpiece Megatrons because we've got 4 of them, and they're all pretty good. And obviously MP36 is the be all and end all of Masterpiece. Megatrons. They ain't going to get much better than that really, but. perhaps you could. I mean, if you scaled this up to masterpiece scale, I think it'd give MP36 a run for its money. Now, I have to say right now, I've been disappointed by this figure, and I will tell you for why. Yes, in robot mode, it looks awesome. It looks amazing. The articulation is fantastic. You know, it's got great articulation. It looks every millimetre, you know, the character from the G1 cartoon. However, transformation, yeah, you might as well be transforming MP36. This really is a legend scale MP36. The transformation is horrid on this thing. It's awful. I mean, I think I took about 35-40 minutes to transform it, but again, I did that thing where I transformed it off the cuff without using instructions, and I really struggle with the legs, the way the legs work on this. And the gun you end up with, the proportions are all off on it. You know, it's just it looks too tall and stunted. You know, it just doesn't look quite right. And I think the gun, the aesthetic of the gun has been compromised somewhat to make the robot look as good as it does. And I don't blame them, because obviously most people are going to have this displayed in robot mode. You know, you're not going to transform it much into the gun mode. The fact that it does transform is great, but you know, this is what you bought it for. I mean, this thing comes with an absolute butt ton of accessories. I mean, it comes with all the accessories, you know, you got with MP36 and then some. And my one, hang on, let's just pull that off. My one came with the LED. Yeah, the LED is really weird on this. I mean, you've got this little thing, and it's just, alright, and it's like, you've got this weird little battery and this little white cap thing, and you push it in, and there it goes. And it's an LED, and it's ever so tiny the way they've done it. And you can plug it in the gun. You can plug it in, you know, the fusion cannon. You can plug it in the end of the barrel extension on the gun mode. I think you can even plug it in the Morning Star as well to make that glow. So yeah, mine came with the LED. It probably shouldn't have done, because obviously that meant there was a battery, you know, transported through the post. But mine came with it, so it was weird. But yeah, getting back to the figure. Yeah, been slightly disappointed by this. Yes, the robot mode looks amazing. The transformation is I won't say hellish, but it's really awkward and not fun. It's not intuitive. It's got some really awkward bits. It's not that great. The gun mode is compromised as a result, because of, you know, making such a clean robot mode. So yeah, I wanted to love this thing. You know, it was a shoe-in for, you know, best bot of the month, but it didn't quite get there. I mean, to me, when it comes to legend scale, you know, Megatrons, it's New Age all the way. I mean, I love my New Age figure. The transformation on this thing is black magic. The way it works is amazing. Yes, the gun mode is a little messy in places, but it depends on which side you look at it. If you look at it on the left-hand side, it looks pretty clean. You look at it on the right-hand side, you can see some visible hinges. So it's neither here nor there, but you get it in the bright silver like I did, and it just looks awesome. It just looks amazing. And the articulation, the transformation on this thing is awesome. Yes, this thing has got decent articulation. Yes, it's got the aesthetic of the robot mode, and but, you know, it hasn't got it all. You know, this thing, you know, has pretty much got everything I need in a Legends, you know, Megatron, apart from obviously the weird hips. That's the only thing that counts against it. I mean, I'd like to get hold of that upgrade set, but you know, I've got to get it in the Hinkle colours, and I'm going to struggle with that. So yeah, I've got hold of Magic Square's Doomsday. It's all right. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic figure, and if you're looking for a Legend scale Megatron for your Legends lineup, then get one of these. You know, you can't go far wrong. And but I will say, personally speaking, it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's an amazing robot mode that came at the price of a messy transformation and a slightly compromised gun mode. That's about as plain as I can say it. So there we go. I got hold of him, and yeah, he arrived on the 15th. So we're getting through this stuff now. I'm hoping I'm going to get this done under an hour. Right, next. Now, Sir Toys. Now, you might have seen a couple of days ago I did an additional unboxing video. I did an extra bonus unboxing video because I got a package from Sir Toys. Now, it's the first time I've bought something from Sir Toys. I knew about Sir Toys because... I've watched Ben's Collectibles, getting his packages from Sir Toys, and you go on the website and it's just reams and reams and reams of weird and wonderful, KO plastic crack for the most part. Anyway, now I like to collect my Korean figures, and there's a few shows that have gone on in Korea where I've been collecting figures from, but sometimes you'll get a character or a robot in one of those shows. I really want a toy of that, but they're not going to make one, or they haven't made one. And there was a character or a figure that came out in one of these shows, and I saw it and I instantly knew what mould it was. I thought, it's this. It's the Hello Carbot King Guys mould, but it had been remoulded and repainted into a different colour. Now, this figure that I'm talking about appeared in season 1 of Miniforce from episode 23 to 26, and it's the it's the Force Transbot for Ray. Ray was like the fifth sort of Miniforce Ranger, and he got betrayed by Pascal, who disguised himself as Volt and then openly attacked him in the HQ, and he thought that Miniforce was out to get him, so he escaped with the Force Transbot and basically became a rogue. And then Pascal was sort of manipulating him behind the scenes and getting him to side with him against Miniforce. So he had this Transbot, which had 5 different modes. It had a robot mode, it had a bat mode, a shark mode, an eagle mode, and a wolf mode. And it was like a purple and gold and black repaint of this thing. Now, as I got this thing a couple of years ago in 2016, I thought mistakenly that this was the original mould. But I saw reviews on Kura and again KR Brickbot, and KR Brickbot went into details about this mould and the history of it through the various shows. I mean, this original was made by Sonocon when they originally did the original sort of Carbot series. I mean, if this was from season 4 or was it season 3? This guy appeared. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, but that was after the first season of Miniforce, which came in, I think, about 2014. Miniforce season 1 came out, so it predated this mold by 2 years. But Sonocon, who did the original Miniforce toys, didn't do a version of Ray's Force Transbot, and they only used the mold 2 years later when they did this guy for the Hello Carbots toy line. So they'd obviously done the design work on the mould, but then they rehashed it and then used it as a different character in a totally different TV show and toy line. But it didn't. When I found out about, I only found out about the Ray Force Transbot. When was it? I think it was after this. I mean, because I saw the final episodes of season 2 where Ray has now sided with Miniforce again, and they're fighting against this massive sort of dragon mech thing, and I watched that, and it's really cool. The final episodes, though I have watched season 1, and the episodes are so samey. It's just, why would you even want to watch this show? It's the same old crap, But anyway, cut a long story short, recently, this figure that I want, this Ray Force Transbot, has now, somebody's done it. Somebody in China has made it and released it, and I think the reason being is because the Miniforce show is now being screened in China, and they're doing reissues of the toys, but that they did for the original show. But there was this one character missing, this one toy missing, and this Chinese company called, I think, Wow Dadi, or Wow Dadi, I think they're called. They decided to make it, and I wanted to get it from what's it. So, and while I was on the case, while I was, KR Brickbot had said, this thing's available from, Sir Toys, and you could get it off. There's a Chinese website you can get it off, but I was a bit dubious about, going onto a Chinese website that didn't really have English translation on it and trying to buy this thing that way. But I would have got it with a box if I'd have done it down that route. But Sir Toys had it in stock, but they were doing it loose without the box. So I went on to Sir Toys, and sure enough, they had it. And I thought, well, okay, maybe this is worth opening up a Sir Toys account. But while I was on there's another Sir Toys figure. Well, another figure on Sir Toys. Sorry, I meant to say that I've seen and I've really wanted to get, and it's an official Transformers figure that it's an official Transformers figure that got an exclusive remold and repaint for a Chinese retailer, so they could do it for a special promotion, and release it as like a store exclusive or retail exclusive in China. And the figure I'm talking about is the JD, the Jingdong Red Knight, and it's basically a heavy repaint and slight retool of the Age of Extinction Galvatron mould. And I'd seen people on eBay selling it, but they were asking the usual sort of scalper premiums for it. They was asking way too much for it. But I knew that I'd seen it on Sir Toys at a fairly steep price for a Voyager figure. I mean, it was like $59.99 for a Voyager figure, but it is a retail exclusive. You can only get it in China. And so what I did was I ordered it with this Force Transbot together, so I got a little bit of, I could split the shipping between the two figures. And they arrived surprisingly quick again. I was expecting it to get delayed because it's coming from China, and the COVID crisis is still ongoing, but they arrived pretty quick. So yeah, I got hold of the JD Red Knight. He arrived. These arrived on the 17th, and so got hold of him and got hold of the Force Transbot. So put the two side by side, and you can see the similarities in the mould. Obviously, they've remoulded quite a few bits. I mean, I think he's got these shoulder pieces out, but you can do that with this guy as well. So you can have them both with the shoulder pieces out. You can do that. It's the same mould basically, just with a few remoulded bits and a few extra joints that allows it to do the extra mode. I mean, this guy's got 4 modes. This guy's got 5 modes. They do all the same modes apart from this one has got a bat mode. It can turn into a bat, and in fact, this is the face of the bat mode on his chest. But so now this is a first. This is actually one of about 4 or 5 KTRTs that I'd seen on a show that I really wanted a toy of that they never made, or a Korean transforming toy that never got made. This is the first. They actually made the Ray Force Transbot, and I couldn't be happier. So I bought this off Sir Toys, and he was only asking about, to have it loose, because obviously it didn't come with a box. If I remember, I'll put in a picture of the box here. Right, yeah, so there's a picture of the box, or what the box should look like. I mean, it's got all the Miniforce logos on it, obviously all in Chinese, because it's the Chinese version. But yeah, I'm going to do a review on this at some point, but you're going to have to wait until I've got... So I probably won't be reviewing this until October because of the review schedule I've got going on leading up to my review 200 and my 500 subs review. So I will be reviewing this at some point, but you're just going to have to wait for it. It'll probably be in like the first week of October before I review this. But yeah, I managed to get him, and like I said, I got this. And where is he? There we go. So yeah, there's the original mould and there's the repaint. If you turn them round, you can see, it's the same mould from the back. It's exactly the same. And let's get rid of the gun. Hang on, let's just take the gun off. There we go. So yeah, the only bits they've remoulded is the chest and the face. Apart from that, it's the same mould. It's the Age of Extinction, Galvatron mould. It's the Freightliner Argosy truck mode. They just gave it a new head sculpt and a new chest plate and this banging sort of red and black repaint. But it's a Chinese exclusive. It's only sold in in the Jingdong stores in China. It's the only way you can get hold of it. And yeah, if you want to get hold of one of these, go to Sir Toys. $59.99 plus postage. There are a few sellers on eBay who have got it who are asking considerably more than that for it. Is it worth it? I don't know, but it's kind of pricey for what it is. But it looks totally different. And they also did some amazing Jingdong as part of the promotion. They did these amazing CGI adverts, which were done in the style of like Transformers, like the Bayverse movie sort of style, where they had Optimus and Bumblebee, and this guy Red Knight, was towing a trailer of the high tech goods to the from the factory to one of the Jingdong sort of stores, and they were getting intercepted by Decepticons and Megatron, and it was pretty cool. This guy was getting to fight in some CGI Transformer battles. So yeah, they did that, and they arrived on the 17th. So now we're down to the before I go any further, obviously because I ordered those guys from Sir Toys, I got a Brucey bonus. Yeah. What's his name? My memory's terrible. The guy at Sir Toys, his name. Paul. Is it Paul? He always throws in Brucey bonuses, and I got this KO G1 Micromaster Flack. And when I first got this, it would not transform properly. It was all warped and skew-if, and to be honest, I was thinking, oh yeah, well this is a shoe-in for the worst bot I got this month. But actually, that's not fair because I got given this as a gift, and I can't justify saying it's the worst thing I got this month just because it's a crappy knockoff. But I've worked on it since. I've figured out that you can how to transform it properly. Yeah, but bits pop off, obviously. And there's the stress marks all over the thing. Hang on. Right, so there we go. Yeah, it does transform. The backpack had been... it's got like the green bit is screwed into the back of the robot mode, and they hadn't. The plastic was warped and it had been screwed in at a slight angle, so it was all skew-if. So I took it off and repositioned it, retightened it, and it actually sort of holds together now. So it's actually not too bad. I've actually improved it, and it actually transforms properly now. So yeah. Now, like I said, I didn't ask for this thing, and if I'd have had a choice, I'd have said to Paul, no, don't put the Brucey bonus in because I don't want it. But I got it anyway, and you know what? I'm going to keep it. I was thinking of just throwing it away or doing like a Transformers snuff video where I destroy it, just for laughs. But no, actually, because it's my first freebie from Mr. Paul at Toys. I'm sure I'll be buying packages from it in the past now that I've got an account, and there's so many other things on there I could no doubt buy, because he does official and sort of third party figures on there, as well as the reams and reams of KOs. But it's a gift at the end of the day, and don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Basically, take it for what it is. It's a Brucey bonus. It's a gift, and it's all right. It's okay. So yeah, I've managed to fix it. It's a lot better now than it was when I first got it. So yeah, I'll definitely be keeping hold of this guy, and I've added him to my collection. I wasn't going to, but I have. And that was that. So I'd spent enough at this point. I didn't have much money left. I did a few sort of pre-orders. I mean, there's an eBay pre-order I did for the Fans Toys Beachcomber, because I want to get that, because our character mold set collect Beachcomber. And also obviously I saw this, the pre-order went up for that Generation Selects G2 Megatron out of the Earthrise Megatron mold. So I'm all over that. So I've done a pre-order on that as well, but that won't come out till the back end of the year. So yeah, I was pretty much spent up. But then something came up. And I went seriously over budget last month, and I said I was going to go over budget this month, and I have. I wasn't going to, but I did, because I'd still had money in reserve. I still had money leftovers from the previous months I'd done. So, and that's what it's there for. That's what this excess is there for. Is you get towards the end of the month, and then something else pops up that you really want, and you've used up all your budget. It allows you to overextend and get that figure that you want when it becomes available. And as I just said, I character mold set collect Beachcomber, and there is a Beachcomber mold that I've been trying so hard to get hold of, and it's Energon Powerlinx Beachcomber. It's basically a repaint of the Energon Powerlinx Cliffjumper mold, but they did it in Beachcomber colours. And as far as I'm aware, I won't say it was in a US exclusive, but all the ones I've seen on sale are pretty much in America. They're all mint in box, and well, have a look at this. That's just a typical example of, the prices that people in America are selling them at. And if you go to buy one, they're doing the figure for about, well, they're usually mint in box, so you can say it's worth the money. And they're doing them for sort of like 65 quid, but then you have to add their postage fees, which is usually around about sort of like 25-30 quid. And then a lot of them are doing that global shipping program, whereby they post the package to Pitney Bowes, and then Pitney Bowes send you an invoice to say, oh, we've got this package from this seller, you owe us this much for the shipping, and oh yeah, you've got to pay the import duty up front, and it's all that business. So if I wanted to buy one of those off the US eBay sellers, I would have been paying way over 100 quid for this figure. So I just couldn't do it. But I really wanted it. It was like a mini grail, I've been searching for this thing for so long. And then towards the end of the month, one popped up on eBay UK for £15, buy it now with £15 postage. I just had to get one. I just had to get it. Right, so Energon Beachcomber, or a repaint of the Cliffjumper mold. Now I've almost bought Cliffjumper before. One of the rollout roll calls back in 2015 at the Jury's Inn in Southampton. I was going round on the Sunday afternoon, and I was looking in. I think it was it In Demand room. They had all these used figures, and I pulled out this Cliffjumper, and I was looking at it and thinking, yeah, that's a pretty cool figure. I like my buggies, and it's a buggy former. But I didn't buy it because I was looking at the way, I thought, well, it's a bit crude, it's a bit chunky, and no, I won't do it. So, but then I found out they're doing this repaint of it as this character, and yeah, I've got to have it. I've got to have it because I've character mold set collect Beachcomber. But like I said, getting hold of one of these guys, you got to pay for the nose for it. But then this one popped up on eBay UK, and the price was, it was just right. It meant I had to go over budget, and I went about 20 quid over budget, but it was worth it because, you know, I've finally got Energon Beachcomber, and it's took me a couple of years to get hold of one of these. Yes, it's a used one, and I will say that the age hasn't been kind to this mould. Some of the pegs are like super duper tight. Also, some of the ratchets are a bit rough, and the aesthetic of the legs. I mean, look at these legs. Look, right. Now, this is an Energon figure, so it's got that Powerlinx gimmick where it can turn into, you know, either a shirt or a trousers, and then you plug another figure on top. And this is one of the bigger figures. They only did about 3 or 4 of these larger sort of Powerlinx figures, and they can only sort of Powerlinx with each other. I think Ironhide is one of them. And who's the other one? There is another one. But anyway, the Autobots all had this silly Powerlinx gimmick, and Energon, I'm not a huge fan of Energon, to be honest. The Powerlinx gimmick is not for me, but I wanted to get this guy because it's cliff jump, not cliff jump, but it's because it's Beachcomber. Now, I put some batteries in his backpack, and he makes that weird noise. Now, that doesn't sound like a car to me. That sounds like an express train. You know, it sounds like an express train going past. Weird sound effect for a buggy. I mean, it just makes that one noise. It doesn't even do the transformation sound when you're transforming it. It's weird. Anyway, so when you get to these legs, these are how the legs are supposed to be in sort of robot mode. But because this guy's a Powerlinx, he's got an excess of joints, and I think, you know, you can do this. Fold that round. And you fold this round, fold that round, do that, bring that up, fold that down, and then basically give him the Powerlinx legs that he, you know, when he turns into a pair of trousers, you get these legs, but that makes him look so much better. I mean, it makes him look a bit lanky, but, you know, the legs are a little more, you know, normal. You know, he's got, you know, instead of these really stumpy legs with these massive, great sort of shins, you know, he just looks so much better. And yeah, so I prefer to have him looking like this, to be honest. Much better use. I mean, he's got these extension pieces, which are, you know, when it turns into a shirt, you know, you can see there's arms there, but, you know, they work as heel spurs. And in the other mode, you have these things out. You're supposed to have those things out as the heel spurs. So yeah, he's all right. He's okay. I mean, I was going to get him anyway, but I'm so glad I managed to get it. A UK seller who was selling it at a price that was, you know, palatable to me. And yeah, there he is. I finally got him, and yeah, that's one more, you know, character mold set collect figure I've got, and yeah, Energon Beachcomber, I had to get him. And that is that. Yeah, quite a haul this month. Went over budget, like I said, but didn't really mean to. But that Energon Beachcomber came along at the right time, at the right price, and I just had to go for it. So it's that time. It's that end of month bot haul tradition from this year and last year, where I do my first and worst. So what exactly? It's kind of a tough one this month, because there was some figures that, you know, I mean, like I said, I had some dodgy moments with this. So this could have been potentially one of the worst bots I got this month. Obviously, again, like I said, I was disappointed with the transformation on this guy. You know, I had a bit of a game transforming this first time round, and it annoyed me a bit. And again, I was disappointed with this figure because of that, largely, and it run the risk of you know, becoming a worse bot I got this month. And then, you know, it's these them little mini Carbot figures. I mean, this guy, you know, again, like I said, because they messed up the colours on the bus mode, you know, the blue and the red. They got the wrong shade of colours again, like they did on the big figure. I mean, that's something that annoyed me. But I had a long, hard think about it, and I've come up with a solution to this little problem of my first and worst this month. And they are as follows. First and worst. Yeah, I will admit, since I got this mould, I've been transforming it a bunch. You know, I've been flipping it backwards and forwards. Yes, it's an improved you know, classics mould, you know. It's just a scaled up version of this. But that's no bad thing, because the classics mould was pretty good back in the day, and this thing is just an improvement on it, and it's really cool. I mean, it gives you an awesome jet mode. Yes, it's still got the little hole in there, the little fingering hole. But apart from that, it's really cool. I mean, I just wish they could have made the Decepticon sigils on the wings a little bit stand out a little bit more, because that sort of faint purple barely stands out on this light blue. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And this guy is worst because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the character from the show. I mean, the aesthetic of the robot mode and the car mode in the show and the original toy makes me want to throw up. This figure isn't that bad, but still, out of all the figures I got this month, this is probably the least, you know, likeable figure out of all the bots I got this month. So that's why he is the worst, and that's why this guy is the first. So there's my first and worst, and that is it for this month. Let's just double check. Yeah, it's gone over an hour. Sorry, I didn't mean to go over an hour, but it has. You know me, I like to chit chat, and yeah, this is what happens. So I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and I will catch you all next time. Yeah, I'll just before I go, obviously, I've got the rest of the reviews for the Hello Carbot minifigures pre-uploaded, and so then over Saturday mornings, over the next 4 weeks in September, you know, you're going to get a mini Carbot review going up 9:30 on a Saturday morning. And yeah, I will probably be trying to do my unboxing series as per normal, which will go out on a Wednesday at 12:30. So with that said, I've been TFI Wilderness. Hopefully I'll catch you all next time. Ta-da!